Students at one New Jersey school say that officials are dropping the ball on a serious issue, bullying. The father of a 14-year-old says bullying drove his daughter to suicide. Today, students staged a walkout at Central Regional High School to draw attention to a pattern of bullying that they say the district is ignoring. News host Brian Thompson is in Berkeley Township and has those details.
Silence is compliance!
Students at Central Regional High School in the Bayville section of Berkeley Township angry, fearful over the suicide death of one of their own after this video was posted to social media last week of several students attacking 14-year-old Adriana Kush walking with her boyfriend in the hallway for no reason yet disclosed. 2 days later, she took her life at home. Her father outraged police weren't called.
A kid is assaulted with a weapon and it's not their policy to call the police or to file a report.
Michael Kush tells me his daughter was taken to a nurse, not the hospital, even though she blacked out and had bruising over much of her body. His outrage reflected in the 200 or so students who protested throughout the school day, skipping class, demanding action.
I would like them to actually teach the people who bully what they're actually doing and how it affects them.
That person is getting bullied.
Why do you say that?
He fits everything that he's being bullied.
Yeah, you feel like he's speaking from pain?
That person's getting bullied. That's for sure.
One neighbor here even sharing this video that shows her daughter drowning in her backyard pool and Adriana jumping in to save her life.
She was like a daughter to me. She was at my house almost every day.
This demonstration didn't end until the school day did. Pizzeria owner Tony Favola bringing pies with a strong message of support inside. The police wouldn't let him cross to the kids across the street. The support appreciated by Adriana's father, who thinks he knows the cause.
I do know why it happened. It happened because these two haven't liked each other for a couple years, and she had been threatening my daughter online.
The school is not commenting at this point, only sending home a letter alerting parents to Adriana's death. Michael Kush wants justice.
It was a felony assault. They don't file a report. That's obstruction of justice. They're absolutely refusing to protect our children. I mean, why would anybody want to send their kids there?
We went by the superintendent's office but have not heard back. The prosecutor is having no comment, but Kush says he's been told by the prosecutor that criminal charges will be filed against at least 3 of the 4 girls who were involved in the attack on his daughter.
I tried so hard to just talk, to just try for you guys to listen to me, for everybody here to try and listen to us.
An outpouring of hurt and anger finally ripped the cover off a bullying crisis at Central Regional High School as speakers, many of them students, told raw personal stories of getting tormented over and over again. Senior Danielle Ledesma accused the school board of ignoring their pain.
You are here to protect the students, but the students do not feel protected. I was in the darkest point of my life and you completely abandoned me.
Student Echo McNichols described her terror at threats from bullies in class.
They told me that I was ugly and fat and that I should kill myself. They sent us pictures of guns and told us that they knew where we lived and they were going to send people to our house to come rape us. And the school solution was to tell me to switch classes, to turn my schedule upside down in the middle of the year to get away from these kids, or to just suck it up.
They told her to switch classes and to move her schedule around to get away from them.
Yeah.
We're scared to walk in the hallways of Central. We're terrified we're going to get picked on and bullied and jumped because that's all that's been happening these last few weeks.
I had pictures taken of me. I had them post on Instagram, Snapchat, every single social media platform. I've had people try to jump me because I'm gay in this school, and I've been suicidal and I have self-harmed in the past because of things that have happened to me in this school. I've just been told to ignore it, to be the bigger person, walk away.
The crowd, bristling with pent-up fury, vented their frustration for hours at the grim-faced board. Parents who've tried to get help for bullied teens to no avail said they're deeply alarmed.
Because you monsters are going to be who's protecting her. And I'm scared. You guys should all
resign. Okay, every single one of you.
The thing I've been hearing all night long, and I totally agree, we have to do better. Bullying has no place in our school.
The board promised change, but earlier at a news conference, Acting Superintendent Doug Corbett said he hadn't observed a climate of violence in school here.
I see a lot of good kids doing a lot of good things. There's not a culture of violence. Do these things occur? Obviously, we know that throughout the country in every school. We work everything in our power to prevent that.
How you rolling out? What happened?
I haven't observed any violence. It's like a white person saying, I'm not getting stopped by the cops. Like, yeah, you don't observe it, but it happens. They're not going to do it in front of you, dum-dum. It's like you're the superintendent. They're not going to do it in front of you. They're going to do it in the classrooms. They're going to do it online. Are you online on your account? No. Because you're a superintendent, you probably have other things to do than chill with kids. Good on you, because that's just weird. But of course you don't see that. Of course you haven't observed it. It's funny. It's always funny for me, like, whenever people talk about, I haven't observed that, when they're not the one targeted. They're not the one. They're not the one that this shit is about, and they're like, I haven't seen that. You're a whole ass adult. And people don't always report to you. They report to people under you and the people under those people. And the message doesn't go up to you. That's what you have to ask yourself. You're the superintendent. You're high up there. People don't go directly to you. You don't observe it. Like, clearly there is a problem, my guy. If all these people are saying that, and let me tell you, bullying is not like what the movies show, where there's a club that does the bullying and the club that are the nerds and this. Sometimes these cliques are a little bit of everything. I've seen some jocks that are actually nerds. I've seen some people doing a little bit of the bullying as well, in retaliation or for XYZ reasons. So it's not as clear as you can think it is. But you being a superintendent and being like, I haven't observed it, it's not for you to observe, bruh. A chief of police doesn't really necessarily know exactly what goes on in the street until it gets reported to him by the people under him and the people that are in contact with the streets. I haven't seen none of my officers do. Shut up. And even if you ride with your officers, and you're not gonna know, because they're gonna act accordingly when this shit happens. So whenever you're around, they know you're the superintendent, so people are gonna act a certain way. Come on now, B. Just me saying that and having to say that because you're like, man, it's just stupid to me. You're not targeted. This is not about you. And you're not in a position for you to witness that. And you're like, I haven't seen that. It's weird to me, but whatever.
What are your thoughts about this whole topic?
Teenagers are ruthless, man. I don't know what happens between the first year that you get inside high school and the second year, but you go from Pokemon cards to let's go all rally in the...
Sorry. You went from Pokemon cards, you poke that bitch in the pussy, man. Sorry.
That too.
Yeah.
That too.
Yeah.
That too. But you go from one, like from elementary school to another, to a whole other extreme. Like I remember, like I was in first year of high school. For us, it's secondary one. Whatever. It's different systems. Anyways, I'm about 11, 12. All right, go to school. I'm done with elementary school. I go to that school, and we go from elementary school to. I remember that the next summer, so I was still in the first year, we all met up in the park to fight and to watch a fight. Like two groups was about to fight and we're like, yeah, we're about to go see what's going on. And we become
animals.
You know what I mean, though?
You know what I think it is, though?
There's a lot of things, but what do you think it is?
I really just think most of it's just puberty.
Yeah!
You feel everything. You hate your body. You hate your looks. You see yourself evolving.
Yeah.
You get braces. Your face looking different.
Your body change. Your voice change.
The way people look at you.
The way people look at you.
Adults start looking at you different.
Yeah, I remember that year when I went from that like elementary school to that other school was the year I stopped being a cute. I moved from cute to being a threat.
No.
People started to be scared of me. Some people, you know what I mean? I always started to look like a man, broad shoulders and stuff like that. That didn't like get people to stop bullying me, but still, you know what I mean? It's a whole lot of things happening in your mind and happening in your body and stuff like that. And then you have the other people and other influences around you as well. You know, you're not alone.
Media changes, everything.
Exactly. So there's a whole lot of things, and it's weird. And people are very, 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 very cruel. Like, we were cruel in elementary school, but the other step is something else. So I can understand that these things happen. As a matter of fact, when I was in high school, there was something like that happened in another high school called Jacques Rousseau. There was a dude that was bullying a kid, and that kid committed suicide and stuff like that. And that kid was living around my way, right? So it was a big thing in the news and stuff like that. That happened where kids get so much into bullying and then that they commit, they self-delete. So it's something that I've experienced from afar because it was not in my school. But I remember it was a pretty dramatic thing. And then everybody was talking about it and it was in the news. And then 2 weeks later, nothing. And people went right back to bullying. People went right back to whatever the hell they were doing. The bullying, the calling people names. Oh man, my days. I was not black enough. Yeah, it was this dude bullying me always passing comments. Ghislain. You know, man looked like a monkey. Anyways, him and his clique. It's been happening. I think it's never really gonna stop. The only difference is that me, when I was a kid, once I got home, that shit stopped. There was no such thing as social media, or the social media was very in their beginning and stuff like that. There was no Facebook, no nothing. If I went home, I went home. That thing follows them. You know, when we live in an era where there's likes and there's comments, so when that shit got posted of her being assaulted, imagine you see yourself being assaulted and all the comments of the likes, all the comments, you see that, and people feed into that, and there's that culture of you watching that, and the same way that I don't think, and you said that as well, you don't think that grown adults not every grown adult is meant to be online and do commentary and put themselves out there and see how people react and stuff like that. And imagine a kid. A grown-ass adult that has the capacity to be like, you know what, let me turn that shit off because it's too much. Most of the adults are not made to be online and project their ideas and being critiqued by everyone. Imagine a kid that's growing up. And so that's what happened. I think it's a bit extreme, but I can understand where it's from. It's close to me, man. Like, I've been bullied, you know what I mean? I've been bullied. When I was a kid and I was in elementary school, I wanted to commit suicide because of a lot of things that happened. You know what I mean? You don't see your worth. You don't see you see it's a whole fucking spiral and shit like that. So I understand and I sympathize. It's a bit fucked up, you know. You know we had numerous conversation about that shit and stuff. So
sure.
So yeah, there's a lot because it's a lot, bro. And then all these memories and shit like that. Yeah, and those memories made the man that I am today. But yo, when this shit is happening and you're searching for yourself, like, you don't even like yourself, bruh. You don't like your own self. You wake up in the morning, you look at yourself in the mirror, you don't like what you see. And then you go to school and you get reminded. And then teachers don't do shit. School don't do shit. And then you think you feel a little bit more powerful when you're 2, you know what I mean? You still get jumped. Nobody says shit. And the comments, and people see the rounds, and nobody said shit. It's fucked up, bro. It's one thing that you put yourself out there and you have a channel called Abba and Preach, and you subject yourself to all these comments that people say. That was my choice. I did that. You decided to put the video. We understand that shit. But she didn't ask for none of that shit. Someone filming you getting assaulted, there's a whole plot there. You feel like it's a whole conspiracy. There's a lot, bro.
Yeah, we've already seen grown-ass adults cry over criticism online. what he said about a young child or a teenager having to hear that kind of criticism about themselves, that's already crazy. Now imagine it's you getting beat up, the amount of shame that you feel, how terrified you are to go to school. How many people are probably in the comments of that video saying, do it to her again, she deserves it, all of this stuff. So you find out even more people want to harm you. You know, and like I said, most teenagers already tackle so much self-worth issues. For kids of this generation, even much more so. They're on TikTok, their amount of body dysmorphia and people who don't like the way that they look and how they feel about themselves, like that's even heightened due to social media, right? And so they're already in this like very, very vulnerable state in a weird way. You know, like handing a kid a cell phone is not just handing a kid a cell phone. It's handing them years of body issues. It's handing them potential access to predators. It's handing them access to all kinds of harmful messages. It's handing them a tool that honestly, I don't even think most kids are ready for. Okay? That's why parents got to put fucking locks on everything and monitor their history and everything else, because you're like, I gave them, but I got to look because I don't know what the fuck they're looking, because who knows what's looking back at them. You know that whole quote about peer long enough into the abyss and the abyss stares back at you? That's your cell phone.
Say that shit.
That's your cell phone.
Say that shit.
Onto the whole topic of the school, I don't know how you can say there's not a culture of violence. And at the same time, when violence gets done on your grounds, filmed, uploaded, reported, and you do nothing about it, that is a culture of violence. You don't necessarily have to see people getting beat up. If when it's reported to you, you don't take action, that's a culture of violence. Right? Right? You don't take her to the nurse, you don't take her to the hospital, you take her to the nurse, you don't escalate it when someone's assaulted with a weapon. That's a culture of violence.
That's you.
Think about how fucked up that is. This is not a crime where there was no evidence. It's on camera, uploaded by the people who done fucking did it, and they all visible.
And you did nothing.
They have the crime on camera.
Yo.
But schools have this way of thinking like, yo, we don't want that kind of attention. We don't want that police presence. We don't want the headache of dealing with angry parents. So we gonna be hands off. But it's your job to protect these kids. I could be sympathetic if this happened off school grounds with no cameras involved. He said, I could understand that. On school ground, you see her get decked in the face in front of the cameras and you see who did it. That's your failure. When a student comes to you and shows you messages of what people are sending them in terms of, I hope you get raped, we're going to be coming for you, and they're threatening and they're saying all these foul things to the student, even if it's off ground, if it's said online through their own accounts, you have to take that in consideration. If your response to that child hearing that kind of message is, change your classes, that's a culture of violence and intimidation. Okay, forget school. Guys, tell me what workplace you guys could ever work at. He said out loud, tell me what place you guys could ever work at where someone can come and dick you in the face on camera, record it, upload it, and nothing happens. And bro, not even in the military could that pass.
And HR
the military would actually come down on you hard if you were caught assaulting people on camera like that.
And HR is like, change shifts.
Like that kind of stuff is fringe story. But this happens at all kinds of schools throughout the world. Because we tell ourselves that violence amongst children it's not the truth. That's some of their most formative years. That's when they're most at risk. That's when they're most vulnerable and most malleable. That's when we have to be the most attentive. And instead we do the opposite. You know? I think that's what's unfortunate when I watch this story. It's, even though this life has been lost, you would think there would be a strong response. If anything, all they're doing, it looks like they're trying to cover their own ass. So, it's a very sad story. The father, shout outs to him. Even though he lost his daughter only 10 days ago, he's in front of the cameras trying to get justice for her. And, maybe being a veteran, a soldier is what helps him keep his composure. But I don't know. I don't know if I could ever do that. Like 10 days after, I would be, but who knows? Maybe he's doing all his mourning off camera any chance he gets. But that's so intense of an experience. So seeing him that composed to make that case so strongly and eloquently was really, I thought that was pretty powerful on his part. But it's just really sad. It's a really sad thing to hear. I don't personally have any experience with being bullied. I think one person tried one time and then I beat that person up and then nobody ever messed with me in high school. I was too weird or crazy looking. That's behavior I never liked. I never liked witnessing it. I never liked seeing it. I never liked hearing about it. To me, it's just so corny. It's never something I'd want to participate in. Like niggas getting together on a group chat to gossip about somebody and call them all this other stuff. Like, no, that's not me. And, I would hope that any young viewers who are watching us and who are in school, I would hope that you guys are not engaged in this behavior. Because beyond it becoming unbecoming for yourself, I just think it's you might be causing far more harm long term to other people than you could ever imagine.
I'm not gonna be the one that's gonna be like, hey, I was bullied, and fuck that shit. I also bullied. Oh yeah. I also bullied. Cause at some point, there's no reason to bully. There's no good reason to bully. But at some point, you want to take the shine off you. And I gotta choose, man. I gotta choose me. And so I did the bullying. I'm not gonna stand there and tell you guys I haven't and I'm all clean. How much just that? Nope. No, at some point, I put on my bullying shoes and I went on. Cause I had to. Oh man. Yeah, I did the bullying. That's why I'm saying that it's not always that clear cut.
Yeah. Isn't that a meme? The bully is just a kid at home who gets beat every day by his alcoholic dad. I mean, in response to difficult situations and violence, I'm like, bitch, where'd you learn that from?
That's not so far off from the truth. That's a cry of help. People bullying and doing all this extra stuff. That's either a lot of insecurities coming up and stuff like that, or sometimes you just want to erase yourself. I gotta indulge in that. You don't want to do it, but you gotta do it. So it's very, yeah. Even the people I bully, even if it was a.
No, it's just keep going.
Go ahead.
No, I'm nothing.
I'm not gonna finish it.
Go ahead.
Even the people I bullied, I'm like, sometimes I think about them. I'm like, shit. I wish I could talk to them and apologize. I wish I could. It was one of them. There was one. I was at a show hosting for a show, and this guy taps me on the shoulder, and I turn around, and it was one of my high school bullies. And I'm like, oh shit. I don't know what was about to go down. Imagine how fucked up it is. Grown ass man.
How many years ago is it?
30.
Okay.
After all those years, motherfucker taps me on my shoulder. I turn around, I see his face, I recognize him. My fist clenched. Yeah. I was like, I didn't even know. And he said, hey, I don't know if you remember me. I was like, you remember. And he's like, yeah, I just want to say sorry for the past. We're kids, we're stupid. There's no really a good reason. Like, his apology was the apology that you wish everybody online do. Yeah. He's like, I fucked up. I was a stupid kid. We were all stupid kids, and I shouldn't have acted the way I acted, and I'm sorry about that. And then I kicked him in the nuts. No, I'm just kidding.
Kick that. How dare you do that to my friend?
That didn't happen. But he told me, I'm sorry. And he's like, I'm a fan of what you do. And I really like what you do. And we need people like you. And I was all that was like all gone. But still, I wish I could like meet some of the people I bullied. And I'd be like, yo.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, were you a fan? Word. Tickets are $30. And he's like, but the sign said $20. $30. Stupid. That's called the bullying tax. Fuck you and fuck the past. Yay, give me my money.
And then kick him in the nuts.
Yeah. You probably watching right now like, yeah. I ain't never going to one of these niggas shows. Yay. You ain't. And if I catch you on these shows, $30.
You paying. So yeah. So yeah. So that's pretty much it. So shout outs to you. But
that's it, man.
Yeah, man.
Well, that is it for today's video. Let us know what you guys think in the comments below. We want to hear from everyone on this topic, so let us know.